Mohammed Qissi, such an honor to get you on the channel. Finally, I knew it was only a matter of time.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You had such a tremendous impact on those films from the 80s and 90s in the martial arts genre, especially with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And we want to get the story because we all seen you in the movies, but some people may not know how much of an impact he had behind the scenes in helping the creation of these films.
Um, I mean, maybe some people don't know me, so I'm going to present myself first. What do you think?
Yes, we all know you as Tong Po and Kickboxer, but that's not even how you look like in real life because of all the prosthetic makeup and everything else. But I want to start at the very beginning with your martial arts training, your boxing training before you even met Van Damme. So let's get that story from the very beginning.
You got it. You got it. You have some time?
Plenty of time. I'm making sure I'm turning this phone off and there's no distractions. So as much time to tell.
Whenever you don't have more time, then we'll just hang up and we'll do it another time. So
yeah, there might be a sequel like Kickboxer, for example. They had to do a sequel to get more Tong Po out there.
we'll keep going. It's a pleasure to be with you, so I have no problem.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah, let's start at the very beginning, though, when you first basically got into boxing.
So actually, I was born in Morocco. So originally, I'm from Morocco. I was born there in 1962. And not in a hospital, just in a little home.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The ancient way.
The ancient way, sure.
In 1964, we left me, my older brother, Abdel Karim Qissi, and myself, and my mom and dad. We left in 1964, so I was only 2 and my brother was 4, and we left for Brussels. So there we went to kindergarten, and then we went to first grade school. We were like 6, 7, and then my brother was going and training boxing. Okay. So, and also we just love movies. At that time, it was Massis, Sanson, Hercule, Tarzan with Johnny Westmuller, we just were crazy about movies. And we had a movie theater next to us.
Oh, nice.
But we didn't have the money for. So
okay.
my brother was, time to time, our parents were giving us a little bit of money to go, but we wanted to go every weekend, So anyway, we just loved movies from very little, and then, of course, Bruce Lee, and in sports, Muhammad Ali, and my brother was training in a place called in Brussels, à la Depse, Rue Général Theiss. So, and I followed his step. I went there, and that was in the basement of that place. And at the ground floor, it was karate Shotokan, with Master Claude Guts and his assistant, who's a wonderful guy who also did a lot and helped a lot, Claude Guts. I like to talk about him because we don't talk much about him and we cannot forget him. His name is William Delval. He also did a lot for Jean-Claude. Jean-Claude was little, started when he was 9. And, he was doing martial arts and I was doing, he was doing Karate Shotokan and I was doing boxing. We were training, and then he loved boxing. He also loved Muhammad Ali and loved Bruce Lee, of course.
Sure.
So then he came down time to time when he finished his karate, and he come to see us, to see me boxing, and we start to be friends. He saw me the way I was boxing, like Muhammad Ali already. We just I loved Muhammad Ali. We were like watching all his fights, at 3 o'clock in the morning, because at
Wow.
that time, the time changed from America to Belgium. So we had to wake up very early.
Hmm.
And then from there, we became really good friends. I started to go to see him training karate, and he was doing some boxing with us, and I was doing some karate with them. So, uh, what can I say? With time, we became like brothers. He loved Moroccan food like tagine, couscous, uh, and he stay at home uh, with us. And then I go to his home also, and I was helping his parents in the flower shop. They had a flower shop, and that's how we became really good friends. And then at one moment, I will always remember that it was Mother's Day, and I can see some of the kids with me at school getting a little gift for and I didn't have any money. So Jean-Claude said to me, "Come, I'll show you something." So he showed. He was what? At that time, he was like 10. I was like 8, and then he showed me his saved box. And he said, "You're the only one I gave the code."
Sure.
So he showed me the code, he opened, and he took 50 Belgium franc, which was equivalent today of like, c'était combien? $1.
Hmm.
$1 pretty much. But at that time was a lot of money. So I'm talking about, 70s, but beginning in the 70s. So I was so happy, and I went and bought something for my mom. So that always stick with me.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's cool.
and
Mohammed, did you guys actually go to school together, or did you only know him from the gym?
yeah, just the gym. That's where we met. And then he started to do competition,
Okay. Yeah.
Autocar, in Qatar. And there were a lot of people trust me, so many people were coming uh, to train at that dojo. Was on the ground floor, was spacious, and I'm telling you, a lot of people. And time of the tournament, I was going and watch him, you
Hmm.
know, and he was amazing. He was amazing. I mean, another level of everybody. And you had some other good fighter, believe me, but he was like,
Oh, so this
uh,
is tournament like point fighting that you were watching him doing.
it was tournament with karate shotokan combat.
Okay.
So that was fight. He was amazing. He was amazing. You can see the true talent of that guy. You don't see that all the time.
Hmm.
So I was impressed. And I was like, hey, he's my brother. He's my friend. I was happy to say he's my. He's.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
And then in boxing, he come to watch me boxing, and I was, you know, don't like to say that, but it's the truth. Very talented in boxing.
Hmm.
So he was very strong with his feet, his legs, and I was very very strong with
You
my
had the
hand.
feet, you had the hands. Yeah.
And then I had quite a few knockouts already before I start to fight in boxing, English boxing, just fist. I mean, I was knocking out with big gloves and also helmet, and I was knocking out people on at the dojo. So
Hmm.
that's something you just have or you don't. So basically, I was like having something special in boxing. He had something special in karate. So he was the best element in his school, and I was the best element in my school. Of course, my brother was very, very strong, very good too. He was always heavyweight because he was like, you know, he's the guy who played Attila in Lionheart.
Yeah,
So
big guy.
big guy. So anyway, then just an anecdote there. I mean, we grew up like that with sport. Okay, we just love doing sports. We were training the maximum we could. We just loved it. You know, sometimes the place was closed and we were going inside from the window and to go inside and to train. I mean, we just love training.
Hmm.
He wanted to be at that time, you know, world champion in martial arts. He could have, I'm telling you, he could have. The guy was like amazing, amazing. I mean, any fighter can see him on the screen, they'll understand that.
Oh, definitely.
And me too. My goal at that time was like, you know, we were what? We were like 14, 15. I wanted to go to the Olympic Games in boxing. I wanted to, I just wanted to do boxing. But we loved movies also.
Hmm.
So we loved movies. And then we, of course, for all those years, from almost from when we met, we were always going in theaters, you know, and then we were going by the exit because we were going almost every day to see a movie, you know, almost every day.
So you
And we go
snuck into the theater, basically.
from the exit, you know,
Yeah, yeah, I
we
used to
wait
do that too.
we wait people coming out and then we go in. And then we lay down on the very beginning, on the front. We lay down there like that; they don't see us, you know. And we stay like you know completely on the floor, and we watching that huge screen, you know, and we just go like inside that screen, you know. We were like really living with the movie. It was just amazing that
Movie
love.
magic, yeah, definitely. What were
For
your
me,
guys' favorite movies though? Like you had to have some favorite ones.
oh my God, the movie we loved. Actually, we loved similar movies. We had the same taste of music, of movies. We really have the same taste, and that's why also our friendship were even stronger
Of
because
course.
we loved
Yeah.
the same thing. Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali, music, movies like example Hard Times, which I
Hmm.
came up. I'll tell you later on the
About
idea for
Lionheart, yeah, sure.
with Charles Bronson, James Coburn. Loved it. And we loved movies, of course, Bruce Lee. My God, just loved Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon. And we were like, oh my God, we just went crazy for it. So then movies, of course, like Seven Mercenary with, you know, again, Charles Bronson, which we love, Steve McQueen, Yul Brynner, of course. And those are the kind of movies we really loved. And then we kept on going. Me in his tournament, fighting. Me in boxing, back and forth. Everybody was saying, "Oh my God, you're going to be doing so well," because we were always winning. We were really always winning. Me in boxing and him in karate, and we didn't have such a hard time, you know. But we were training so hard,
Hmm.
you know, we were working out so hard. And we especially love doing it. You know, when you love something,
Yeah,
you know,
that's important. Yeah, yeah, the real
then
passion.
when you follow what you love, you can be only good at it. You know.
Hmm.
Um, then with time again, we just at one moment I start to have some elbow problem. You know,
Sure.
personally.
Okay.
So I couldn't really keep going boxing. I was
Mhm.
very, very sad. Today I'm happy, very happy because
You get the mental faculties intact.
maybe, maybe I wouldn't be able to talk to you the way I'm talking if I kept going boxing. Okay.
Let me ask you this, Mohammed, though. How far did you get? Did you have like an amateur record?
Actually, I was I had like 33 fights
Wow.
in boxing. but amateur. My brother went in professional.
That's
Okay,
cool. Yeah.
he went through professional. He boxed longer than me.
Hmm.
I stopped earlier because of my elbow. And you can say almost all my fights are knockouts. I'll,
Wow.
I'll, I'll give you a little anecdote. Um, my father comes because first, my parents didn't want me to do boxing. I mean, my brother, they were not against it because he was big guy, already young, big guy.
Yeah.
Me, I was not, not that strong looking, but sometimes punch has nothing to do with being, it's something electric. It's something you have it or you don't.
Hmm.
So anyway, my parents didn't want to. Even my brother, he didn't want to. I was crying to do boxing, you know. So when I went there one day and he saw me crying, the coach, the trainer, he said to my brother, "Come on," he said, "Let me see, let me do a test with him, and then that's the day even before I met Jean-Claude. Okay, the very beginning.
Being yeah.
So basically, he said, "Oh my God, he's good," because I was watching Muhammad Ali when I was like, because my parents loved Muhammad Ali, so I was watching with them when I was 4 or 5 years old, 6. I never tried to copy, but naturally I start to, to box like him.
Inspired by
Uh,
the movements. Yeah.
by watching him, since very young age. So then I had a story also with Muhammad Ali in Los Angeles with Jean-Claude. So that's something else. Remind me,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. When we get there, that's a cool story. Sure.
story. Anyway, so basically, what happened is I start to train. As I said to you, you know the story until he comes to see me. I go to see him. All this was good, but the first time I was what? I was 15 to go to do my first boxing in novice, because under amateur you have novice, you
Hmm.
have amateur, and you have professional. So novice, it's for really the beginners. My father didn't want to come. He
Hmm.
was afraid. He said to my brother, I mean, he's hard-headed. We told him not to do boxing. He wants to do. No, he has fights he can do. I'm sure he's going to abandon. They're going to kick his ass, and then he'll finish with boxing. So
Hmm.
that was the mentality of my father. I'm going to do nothing. Anyway, I go, come back, I fight, right? Come back home, and my brother say, yeah, my father say, hey, alors, so what happened? And my brother say, knockout. My father say, you see, told you, no, stay home. And my brother said to you, no, no, he said to him, no, 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 the other guy got knockout. So he said, what? He couldn't believe it. So anyway, the second fight, same thing, same thing. He said, you know what? Now you got knockouts. And my brother said, no, he knocked out the other guy. What? So he said, the third fight, he said, I have to come and see that. So there already, quickly, they put me in amateur. So I was like 16.
Yeah. Okay.
They put me right away in amateur, uh, because I was doing pretty good. So what happened is my father come that day. Oh my God. When he sees the guy I need to box, Lombard, I remember his name, Lombard. He had he was like much older, much older. Some hair here, favorite. The sideburn, you say sideburn, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Sure.
Tatouage, much older than me. And my father say, oh. He looked at, he looked at my coach. He said, no, 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 no. My son, where you go? I mean, you're going to put a boy with a man? What is this? He says, no, 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 no. I was like, my father, I was like so ashamed, I was like, oh my God. First time my dad comes and he's giving a problem. So I try to find an idea, and I say to my dad, listen, is it possible that because everything is prepared, I have to go and fight? You know, I cannot just not go. I'm going to have problems. You're going to give me problems. So he said, what's the idea? I said, okay, you just take the towel, okay, and then you go. I'll see with the coach for you to stay in the corner, and then if you see something you don't like, just throw the towel. He says, that's a good idea. He says, that's a good idea. Okay. And basically, we start the fight. And I remember I said, I have to be quick here because I was already afraid before I start, my father throw the towel, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, right away. I mean, like few hits. And the last one was a right hook. And the guy, bam, on the floor. His eyes, I remember, like, and his feet were like, you know? Oh my, I said, oh, fuck, I killed the guy. You know, I was afraid. And then they asked me my ID after, and you know, the guy said like half hour on the floor.
Wow.
And you know, someone said to me, "Don't worry. I mean, you know, that's boxing. Nothing can happen to you." And then I was just worried about the guy, and then I went to him, and then you know, I hugged the guy. I remember I was apologizing. You know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I was feeling bad for him. So anyway, my father was like so happy. So that's a little anecdote of me, you know.
Yeah, that's cool. And you said you had over 30 fights.
Yeah, 33. I had like
33.
33 fights. I was Belgium champion. I had quite a few newspaper article.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, always nice articles. And then since I am originally from Morocco, the president of the Moroccan Association Boxing, Mustafa Wissam, he started to see all those newspaper, you know, from Belgium, and then he came to see me and my brother,
Mm-hmm.
and that we also do, you know, a tournament for Morocco, which are our country d'origin. But we were Belgium citizen, and we still are, you know. So we have both passport, you know, Moroccan and Belgium. So anyway, I'll give you. You want another anecdote about
Yeah.
boxing, or we
Yeah.
go on?
We'll get one more.
One more? One more
Mm-hmm.
anecdote. So I was like 17, 18, start to be, you know, slowly a man, you know, and stronger. I was training with like two of them. They were Belgium champion, Iberakim and Alberto. Two of them with me on the sparring because one of them was not enough. So it was like always working, like, you know, bam, bam. I was very good to avoid because a good fighter is first not to get hit.
Mm-hmm.
That is the most important. That is, and it is the most difficult. But I had that, you know, like,
Nice.
you know, like in my legs dancing, you know, and moving. So that is the most important and the most difficult to do as a fighter. Okay. Mm-hmm. And of course, have a good chin. Thank God. Never really got, I mean, in training, and I had headbutts, but I mean, in fight, never got like hurt. The other guy, yes, but never got my eyes or, you know, my lips. So and sometimes I got hit, of course, but it's very rare to get me hit like this.
Yeah.
I get hit like this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big difference. You know, you get hit like this, or you get hit like this. So I was, you know, when I get hit, I was in movement, you know. So anyway, that anecdote I wanted to tell you, you had someone named Jean-Paul. He was like big guy, okay? I mean, I was what there? I was like 180, pretty much.
Sure.
How you in England? Yeah, in America, yeah, it's because
Yeah,
we say
pounds.
kilogram. But I believe in pound, I was like 180 at that time.
You were 6'2", weren't you?
Uh, Slowly, I was going there at 17, 18. I was maybe 6'1", you
Okay.
know, I'm
Yeah.
talking about 17, 18. I was, and I was like 100 and I believe 80,
Hmm.
70, 70, 80. Anyway, the guy was like 200, he was like 240. It was a big guy.
Wow, big heavyweight. Yeah. Wow.
He was working in as a bouncer,
Hmm.
you know, in discotheque. So he hear a lot about my brother, Abdel. He was there, my brother already professional.
Hmm.
And he was damn good, going to Paris against Lucien Rodriguez, who was who was uh, who was European champion. Then also fight against an Italian guy who went to Damiani. He fought Damiani, who became world champion in boxing. He knocked out Evangelista, and yeah, he was very good, my brother. Honestly, so they were talking a lot about him, and the guy didn't like that because Jean-Paul was known to be, the strongest guy.
Hmm.
So one time he comes to the dojo. He comes to the dojo and he starts to scream the name of my brother. Where is Abdel Qissi? Let's fight.
Hmm.
See who's the best. And good for him, my brother was not there. So basically, I left my hand. I said, my brother's not here, but I'm here. We can train. We can spar if you want. And then I see my coach, saying, don't do that. So I was kind of pissed, the way he came in. And
Oh, sure. Disrespectful. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't like it. So anyway, yeah, let's start with the little brother.
The warm up.
Let's start with the little brother. So I said, okay. And what happened is, they put I put my glove, he put his glove on, and we start, right? His origin is from Belgium. He's a real white guy, okay?
Mhm.
When you are really white and you get hit, it becomes red quickly.
Sure.
So what happened is, we start to train, and then with my boxing, right, I start to dance, and he comes, I remember, with his hand just like this. Wah, wah. I mean, I said, oh, fuck. I mean, if he if he touch me, he will kill me. So basically, I was most of his hit avoiding
Hmm.
because I can see it coming. Sometimes he hits me here. I go on the rope. I mean, I was like 240 pounds. I mean, it was a big
Yeah,
guy.
that's
But each time I hit, bam, 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 bam. Each time I hit, it's like red spot, red spot, red spot, red spot. I mean, the guy was starting to have red. Then I remember his lips, and then the round finish, and then I remember he was kind of very surprised, on his face, and then the coach come in, and then he says to him, the second round, put your guard up. Don't go down. So he started to give advice to the other guy. And the guy says to him, yeah, but why him? He's not, because I was boxing, like this, right? Not really like this, okay?
mm.
And then he says, you know, that Jean-Paul says, yeah, but what about him? He's not putting it. He said, yeah, but he knows how to box. So he didn't like that. So anyway, he got pissed. He put his glove down. He put it and he left. So that's a little anecdote about my story in. I have other things, but it was of course unbelievable moment, uh, especially after the tournament of after I box and we go celebrate. And I remember we go to Gian, Le Gian, who were free. It was like Le Palace, Vaudeville. Those were the discotheque Jean-Claude and we were going. Jean-Claude loved disco. I like it too, I like to dance, but he was going crazy for the discotheque. And imagine one night, sometimes like 2 or 3 girls, he takes a girl, he goes, comes back, takes another girl, comes back. He was crazy. So anyway, we loved, of course, the same music. At that time it was Earth, Wind, and Fire,
Sure.
Kool and the Gang. Those music, they were just amazing.
Mohammed, let me ask you this. So was your record 33-0?
Actually, I had like 31. Then I had a draw and I had a loss. And then I fight back. In those, I had to fight back and I won. I
Okay,
won.
you got the
I
rematch.
lost first, but I fight them again and I won by knockout.
Oh,
And
nice.
then after, as I said to you, I had problems with
With the elbow, right?
my both elbow. So what happened? Yes, you have another question?
Yes, let me ask you this, because you do have a legitimate fight record, very skilled boxer. Basically if someone is or can be a great fighter. Now, a lot of people are curious and they ask, and different people have different opinions. Your honest opinion, you probably know better than anybody as far as Jean-Claude Van Damme skills, as if he pursued that instead of the movie thing, like, what do you think would have happened?